Happy holidays and welcome to our 2022 Games of the Year, aka the best games we have played this year. I am your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka Ho Ho Hold On There. Yeah, okay, cool. Did it. Who else is here?
I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
Merry Christmas.
Whoa, look at that. Look at that. That is that's some Christmas flavor there.
Christmas
Hey, and
cheer
last
for
up.
you.
Yeah, it's me, Avery.
Keeping it consistent all year long. I love it. I love it. Normally I'd say the whole thing like Press X, our podcast is a weekly show where we talk about the latest gaming news, read the biggest games, give you our thoughts on the games we are playing. You're definitely gonna get our thoughts on the games we have been playing for this year. Our goal, as always, is to expand the video game media landscape through an underserved point of view. Since you're watching this on YouTube, because yeah, uh like the video, of course, like the channel, subscribe to not like the channel, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell because we need your support to keep us warm, especially when it's like freezing cold outside. It's ridiculous. I got my hat on and everything. It's just crazy times. Um, you know what? Yeah, if you're listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or the podcast services you are using. Remember, you can join in on our conversation by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/discord. Now, I think we can just jump into our lists for the games of the year. We're going to start with our number five. We're doing top five. Start with number five and go all the way up to the
Oh,
top. So I'm going to start because I've been talking. My number five is Elden Ring. I think last year when we were talking about this, I made a promise to Avery that I will jump into Elden Ring and I will become the Elden Ring at the very end because I think that's what the
Elden
story was for that
Lord.
game.
Supposed to become the Elden Lord. You want somebody to put
Oh,
their finger in you?
wait, what? Isn't that what happened at the very end, right? You become the ring and anyways. Yeah, so Elden Ring is my number five. I had a lot of issues with the game, with the combat, mainly because it was my first Dark Souls. And every corner for every instance of
Avery just called you a bitch.
every instance of combat of that game, it just felt like, ah man, I wish this was Dragon's Dogma 2. And then we got news of Dragon's Dogma 2. It's not on my list. Oh, shit, I need to put that on my list.
Is that coming
So
out
yeah,
next year?
like I enjoyed my time with Elden Ring, and I gotta say, I have been watching Andy stream Elden Ring and like, huh, you know what? It might be kind of interesting to do like a new game plus with that, especially with like how leveled up my character is. So that might be something I do. I don't know. I still gotta play Need for Speed on Brown. Sean, what is your number five?
um, hmm. So I made it Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
Although,
Uh-oh.
would you consider DMZ part of the Call of Duty Modern
Yeah,
Warfare 2?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at 5. It's still a
Okay.
top 5. So it's not bad. I'm gonna leave it at 5. But
Okay.
I've been loving DMZ. I loved the campaign, um, and the nostalgia that it kicked out. It was a very enjoyable experience. I am
Hmm.
loving DMZ right now and just harassing squads as well as getting knocked on my ass by other random people. But yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Okay. Avery, what's your number
Oh,
five?
yeah. Yeah. My number five is probably the last new game I played this year. It is Marvel's Midnight Suns. This is a game that's somewhat divisive in regards to reception, in that if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you find it a super bloated mess of a game. I also find it a super bloated mess of a game, but
Mhm.
it's a fusion of two things I love: XCOM and Marvel. And so I'm playing this game, and I get to the XCOM parts, and it's like this is one of the best games ever made in terms of they're like a sort of a tactical game. But then when you
Mm.
get to the Marvel part, it's just like how much do I care about Marvel to essentially play a very bad version of Persona?
Oh,
Hmm.
I will continue to reiterate that the open the sort of non-combat sections of the story sections are bloated and uninterested. Well, not uninterested. Their character. Okay, this is where it gets weird because there are characters in this game that I generally love, and I generally love having conversations with those characters and learning them more. But then most of the cast, I just don't give a shit about.
yeah.
So, and this is just me, my personal takes from comics. So I'm like, you can never get me to care about Tony Stark at all.
Mm.
Like,
Damn.
and this game doesn't do anything, and it doesn't do to me anything to endear Tony Stark as a character. So
Right.
like, I don't like this character. This is not a character version of Doctor Strange I really care about. There are a whole lot. There's Wolverine in this game inexplicably. Like I said, when the game focuses on the Midnight Suns, it's like, oh, this is great. I like these characters. Don't give a shit about the Hunter. I'm just trying to say here is, if you like tactical XCOM games, this is probably the second best of the genre that was released this year. I'm betting on my money on Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which I haven't gotten the chance to play yet. But I'm betting that probably going to be a better version of this game. Just didn't get a chance to play it this year. So yeah, it's my number 5. I really enjoyed Marvel's Midnight Suns. Get the Hunter out of the game. And if I swear to God, if I open up a comic next week and the Hunter is in there, I'm summoning I'm summoning my Marvel stick. Like
Okay.
I'm going to New York and I'm punching CB Cebulski in the face. Like, of all the characters you could have brought into comics, this is the one you thought was the exciting character.
Decisions were made.
Oh man. All right. Now we will talk about our number 4s. For my number 4, it is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Um, they released the single player before releasing the multiplayer. Played the single player, loved it. Even though it's very conflicted in terms of U.S. military is awesome, and then it's just like, this is a little too powerful. They're everywhere. But yeah, really enjoyed the single player. When it came to the multiplayer, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Infinity Ward, specifically Infinity Ward,
Yeah.
they don't miss. They don't miss when it comes to multiplayer. And then on top of that, the DMZ, like I haven't even jumped into Warzone. Like I immediately just jumped into DMZ, and I absolutely love this mode. I think their take on Return to Kartok, no,
Escape from Tarkov.
Tarkov. There you go.
They
Yeah.
trying to escape. This nigga trying to return, but go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I think their twist on this is just
Chef kiss.
so much fun. It's Chef
Yeah.
Kiss. Yeah, absolutely. Like they really nailed it with this mode. And of course, I think this is just gonna be more of, because I think even Bungie's gonna do a version of this sometime in the future. So we'll get more of this. But yeah, definitely
Uh,
Modern Warfare.
as far as I know about no, this is irrelevant. Continue.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my number 4. Sean?
So we have flipped it. Elden Ring is my number 4. I did genuinely enjoy when I was playing it.
Beat the game, you coward.
It's just a lot. It's just
Yeah.
a lot, and I lost interest after a while. But when I was playing it, I did have a lot of fun. I may revisit it at some point. I'm not sure when, but
I could jump in your game.
oh yeah, you can help me, can't you? I mean,
Yeah.
I would probably finish it if that were the case, if
Mhm.
we were to do that.
Okay.
I don't know. I have nothing more. It was an enjoyable experience. It's just hella long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
Okay.
more structure to my games and more
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Just to jump back real quick sentence. Like that was my main critique on Elden Ring, is that once I beat the game, the only points that I had to take away from was like, oh, the ending is very much similar to Dragon's Dogma in like the scenery and stuff. And then like I ain't know what was going on. Like I basically just used a bunch of guides to figure out where things was and beat the game. So like narrative wise, it just didn't work for me. But yeah. Avery, you're number 4.
My number 4 is a Plague Tale Requiem. I was a vocal fan of a Plague Tale when that game came out. I shouted it to the rooftops, specifically to Marcus, because I know the type of games he's into. Like, hey man, you gotta play a Plague Tale. You gotta play a Plague Tale. He eventually did. And like, you're pretty much right. Yeah. It was Plague Tale was a low budget Last of Us
Mm.
but set in historical like Renaissance, uh, medieval France. This is a sequel to that game, which is a direct like months after the events of that game's ending, all the characters dealing with stuff. And in terms of it is the best thing I can describe it. It is a stealth murder simulator where they've taken the sort of helplessness of the first game and ramped up the action to a point where, for the most part, there's not a single combat encounter where you can't murder everyone in the room.
Oh,
So like
Jesus.
you could do you and like the game rewards you for whatever play style you try. Are you going stealth? Well, the game gives you more abilities to do stealth. Are you actually taking fights? The game allows you to be more aggressive if you take more fights. Are you using more tricks and things like that? The game gives you more options so you can play in between.
Mhm.
This uh, I generally it's yeah, I genuinely love this game. I think it was fantastic. I think the story is one of the more heart wrenching stories I played this year.
Mm.
I think it is a beautiful story with a beautiful cast and a beautiful group of characters. I have some qualms with the villains of this game and how they sort of operate and the motivations behind them and things like that. I don't think they get enough time to be fleshed out before like the rug gets pulled behind you. That being said, I think it's also probably one of the most best looking games I played this year. Like for a quote unquote double A game, it has like real big like fidelity standpoint things where I'm like, you look at environments and like this is incredibly beautiful. One of the weirdest things about this game that took me a while to figure out is the last game everyone was French. This game everyone is from the UK. Like everyone just stopped doing French accents for this game. It's weird as fuck. Like especially when I hear the French versions of all these characters in my head, and now they're just all doing their normal accents, which is a trip. But otherwise, yeah, it's a fantastic game. If it's one of those things where like if you didn't play a play like if you didn't play a Plague Tale and it didn't if you played a Plague Tale and it didn't jive with you, you're not gonna
Mhm.
find anything with this game. It is just an evolution of things from a Plague Tale. They didn't change anything up. They just did more of that. But
Yeah.
if you did, you're gonna like that. You're shooting yourself in the foot by not playing it. It's fantastic.
It's a worthy sequel. Okay. Number 3. My number 3 is Horizon Forbidden West, aka the Forever Stepchild. This game, I absolutely loved it. I think the open world is to me the best open world we've had all year. Um, I think the game still, I think, yeah, I can confidently say for me, the only game that's looked better than this game is God of War. Like the, yeah, yeah, but yeah, I don't even. I just I feel so bad for Horizon because when the
It
first one
got
came out,
it
they
got
had Breath of the
cucked.
Wild. Yeah, and then when this one comes out, we have Elden Ring. And it's just like it never gets its chance to fully shine without any like, you know, groundbreaking like competition that's just like, "Oh yeah, look at this different
What
approach to open
interests me in
world."
the future is, goddamn, what amazing game is gonna come out to shit on it for Horizon 3.
Exactly. And like for me, when it comes to, picking Horizon versus whatever game came out, you know, after or before it or whatever, I always pick Horizon because I just love the open world. I love Aloy as a character. I just love the fidelity. I love the robot dinosaurs and just how creative those designs are. Yeah, it's just and then the way that they set up Horizon, I guess 3, absolutely loved it. I'm not gonna spoil anything. The only knock I'll give it is that it is a very long game, but, if you are already enjoying your time in the game, then that
You
time
don't
isn't
want it
gonna
to
feel.
end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna feel that bad, and, they just showed, future DLC, the Burning Shores. So, yeah, like, yeah, Horizon's my number 3. Definitely loved it. Sean?
The Yakuza series is new to me,
Mm.
and I am loving it. Uh, we got it on PlayStation Plus. I started with Yakuza 0. I plan on playing through all 7 or 8 of these bad boys.
He made a
Um,
statement, and we were like, "Okay,"
they were like, "Yeah,
and he
whatever,
was like, "Imma
Negro."
do it."
I am now on Yakuza 4, so I played 0, Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, 3, which is in serious need of an update as far as the graphics and mechanics and just I didn't even play any side quests in 3. I literally just balls to the wall rushed through that game to
Yeah.
get to the next one, but I'm loving every over the top thing that's just happening in the game.
Mhm.
And it's the side quests are amazing. The over it's Japanese melodrama at its finest. And I can't wait to get through this one so I could get to the next game.
Yeah.
I'm just upset that I missed this the first time around. This may be my favorite series right behind GTA probably.
Oh wow. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Avery, you're number 3.
Yeah, my number 3 is Immortality. Immortality is the best narrative I played all year.
Mhm.
I think that Sam Barlow and his team, what they've done with FMV games is astounding, and Immortality is sort of like the piece de resistance of all their work with her story and fucking the last one they did that was after her story. Uh, I forgot it, but whatever. Yeah. I think this is their Hades moment in terms of like with
Mm.
Supergiant made a bunch of fantastic games and then they made Hades and everyone knew them. This is their Hades moment with Immortality. I genuinely think this game is incredibly difficult to talk about, but the general sense of consensus is an actress disappeared. She just disappeared off the face of the earth. And it's your job to go through her last 3 movies and figure out what happened to this actress.
Telling lies. I'm sorry.
There we
It was
go.
gonna bug me.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. What happened to the story, and then so it's essentially just you go scrubbing through footage and finding out what happened to this actress. Like because every scene has a clip that leads into another clip that leads to another clip and leads to clues, and the actual reveal of this narrative is so off the wall insane that it's just like it is impossible to just talk about this game unless
Yeah.
you're in this full spoilers. Because if any conversation is just like, oh, you mean the game where you just look at movie clips? It's way more than that. It's
Mhm.
about immortality and film and all of that means and humanity. It's way more than that, dude. Yeah, but like my thing, immortality probably would have been my game of the year if it was
Mm.
a more involved game. As
Yeah.
much as I love the narrative and the writing and the way you explore everything like that, it
It's
is a
not
very
actual
much a
game.
it's very much a passive experience that is hard to replay in any way to really get the meat of its like strength.
Right. Okay.
I halfway started it. I'm actually get through it at some point.
Shout out to Man Engaged. She was robbed. I think Christopher Judge is a fine actor for God of War, but there is no way that he was 100% robbed for Immortality when it comes to Best Actress.
Yeah, I need to play Immortality. I actually tried to get it because I saw it was it's a Netflix game thing. I thought I could play it on the TV, but it's like no,
Mhm.
you just play it on your phone. I'm like I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But what I will do on my phone for number 2 is Marvel Snap.
You a sucker.
So this was super difficult because I, for the most part, was going to have Horizon as my number 2 and Marvel Snap as my number 3. And the only reason why I put Marvel Snap as my number 2 is because I feel like for what it achieves as a quote unquote mobile game is essentially what appeals to me the most about playing a mobile game. So this is a free to play mobile game. The microtransactions are non intrusive in every way. I haven't spent a single dime on this. I have a good number of cards. The actual matches themselves, it's only 6 turns. So sometimes it's less than 10 minutes, sometimes it's 8 minutes. Like, it's so quick to do and just for where I am in my life where like, oh, I got to put London to sleep. I'll be in her room patting her back and just playing a few matches. And it's so great. And then when you talk about gameplay itself, it is I haven't okay, I haven't played Hearthstone. So really and truly, I know this a lot of this is based off of Hearthstone, so I don't have that comparison.
You monster.
But I love the approach of the cards have abilities, but then also the locations that you play have abilities as well. And you can run into situations where you're playing and so it's three
Bro,
locations.
this is just a shorter Pokemon trading card game match.
Not even remotely. Not even
Yes, it
remotely.
is. You ain't played Pokemon trading card game.
I did. I had the cards.
I
I
mean the
fit
actual video game.
is it different
I mean, you can
than playing
affect
the cards?
you can affect the level playing field and all that, or Yu-Gi-Oh even. Shit. It's
No,
just a shorter Yu-Gi-Oh.
this is different than you get. So the locations make it different in that you can be playing a match where just two of the locations are open, and then the third location opens up, and the third location is like, oh, now you will be picking from your opponent's deck for the rest of the game. And it's just like I can't even I have all these stuff in my deck that I have plans. I have plans. And it's the game's like, no, not anymore. Then you can also play cards that will just play everything for you. And it's you never know what you're gonna get every match. And I just every
I'll try it
time,
again.
yeah, every time when something happens, I'm just like, I didn't even know they had this that game. This is ridiculous. So I absolutely love Marvel Snap.
This isn't even my final form.
Right. And then there's games where I completely sleep and I'm like, God damn, that was awesome. That was just amazing. And I pat myself on the back. And then London wakes up. I'm like, damn it. All right. Sean, what is your number two?
Horizon Forbidden West.
Aw.
Um, as stated earlier, I love the Horizon series. I don't Aloy's whatever you want to call that personality trait that everybody hated, it did not bother me. I don't
Her talking was the
No,
issue.
no. No. There are people who have a genuine problem with Aloy's personality. She's a very
Yeah.
stoic type. She's a very stoic character who allows other characters to bounce off of her, and she doesn't really have much of a deceivable, like, how would I say, character trait beyond how focused she is on her.
Yeah.
How focused she is.
She's mission driven.
Yeah, I didn't see the issue with that. So
Me neither.
I love the gameplay as much as it kicked my ass. I was always excited to try new things with the game and just explore. And some of the new monsters, however strong, and some of the new robots, however strong they were interesting to fight against. Like that Loch Ness monster thing. That was a bonkers fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That one time you talk about the mission where you're
You're
fighting in the
underwater
underwater.
and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was freaking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. That's it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Avery, you're number two.
My number two is also Horizon Zero, Horizon Forbidden West. I've had a weird relationship with this game in that when I first started playing it, I played it before. No, I played it before I played Elden Ring. I came out of both those games saying I liked Horizon more than I liked Elden Ring. But as both games trailed, that position really flipped and things changed. I think Horizon Forbidden West is a 100% step up in nearly every way of the main game beyond its narrative. And I've been really mulling it over if my problem with its narrative is that it lacks the inherent mystery box of the first game, or do I think the actual narrative itself is cap? I can't really figure out which one is the real thing about it, but that's neither here nor there. Horizon, I generally love the Horizon combat. Like if if there was a video game combat sequence system that I felt was just like second nature to me, it is Horizon. It is a game that I generally flow through every encounter, and I never get into a situation where I am bored of combat because I just want to get through. This is a game and franchise where okay, every new combat encounter has a brand new the fact that they instead of just in creating a new environment with new machines, they're like, okay, all the old machines are still here, and then we just added double upon them, and now you have situations where you can have multiple new and old machines in the same environment. That the Plesiosaurus fight you guys are talking about, because of the way I played this game, where I explored the majority of the world, I fought that thing before you get to that sequence.
Oh, okay.
There is one on the beach at the very west coast.
Yeah.
That I just
needed
at the here's the thing, I played this game like Monster Hunter and I needed parts to upgrade my shit. So the only place I could get there was there. So I just fought that thing on a regular basis. over and over and over again.
Yeah.
He's a
It is
sadist.
a fantastic game. It takes the flaw of the first game, which was that the world in itself wasn't that really interesting. Like the setting was interesting, but the narrative of the characters going through it was not interesting. The entire Kardra and Shadow Kardra stuff, in that versus the with the Sun King and all that, not that really deep and interesting in the story. There were a bunch of interesting characters around that, but if you compare that to the Elizabeth Sobek and the Horizon for Zero Dawn and Endeavor, it was night and day in terms of the quality of the story. This is one where the A plot and the B plot and all the characters are like one-to-one fantastic quality. Side characters, every single one of the side characters are fantastic, interesting characters with so much depth and so much story around them that I just generally love every single one of them. It's one of those things where I was actually genuinely upset when the game became Mass Effect halfway through, and like I couldn't hang out with them in any real
capacity.
Capacity. Like they would hang out, like there would be missions where they're a companion with you, but it wasn't a situation where I couldn't just drag one of them into the open world and they have their own abilities and traits and things like that to really differentiate them. I think DJ
I
was
hope they're
about,
setting that up for Horizon 3. I hope they set that up where like they actually can take them out.
I don't think so.
we'll see. I have any doubt. I have doubt because this is the game you should have done that. Like that's not a feature that you should have. Like the way this game functions, like especially the way it functions narratively, where like there's not a single situation where Aloy doesn't go to a story mission with another character and interact with another character at that story mission. If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. I see what you mean, yeah.
But I made a face when DJ said the God of War looked better than this game, and the face I made is like because I think that's one of the most capest statements in the entire world. From a pure fidelity standpoint, this game shined above all else. It's shocking to me that they fixed this game on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even talking about I'm not talking about an environmental standpoint as well. I'm talking about the individual character models for everyone is a cut above every single video game I've played in this entire game. Yes. Beyond just being able to be one of the few platforms that have been able to realistically model people of color in a relatively reasonable way that they look at. This is a situation where
they look like normal people.
Every conversation you're having with a person isn't a cutscene per se, but every conversation feels like a cutscene in which every character purports themselves and animates themselves. This is a game
usually real time as well.
Yeah, this is a character where I cannot differentiate. Like most games have two type of character models. They have their in-game model, low polygon, it's designed to do a certain thing. Then they have their film rig, which they use to actually emote and do things. This is where I came with the cap statement where DJ said, there are moments in God of War where I looked at characters and just having conversation with them, like, this is not good. In terms of like the pure emotive power in these conversations, like part of that game sticks out to me is the entire Agrabota section. Well, like the first meeting with her is not in a cutscene; it's in a normal conversation. And I looked at her character model and I looked at the conversation we were having, and I'm like, this is not bad. It was serviceable for what it. Yeah, especially compared to the actual cutscene of it. Like the disparity between them was so stark to me. But on Horizon, like I sit there and I'm having a conversation with like just a random NPC. This random NPC has more polygons and models and fidelity than anything possible. It's one of those things when you turn on the photo mode, it's not like they just switched out the Aloy model for a good one. Like this is the actual base model.
Same model,
like,
yeah. I will say yes, you have a point. I definitely forgot about the side characters and how well they looked. I think the statement when I said like, oh, the God of War looks better than Horizon, I think what I was thinking in my head is the scenes with Kratos and how little his face moves to indicate like how he's feelings and like how well for me it worked. So, and when I look at that, I was like, oh, that looks good. But yeah, like in terms of the other side characters and stuff, especially, I forgot his name, the boy Atreus. Like, yeah, I get the facial capture. I just don't think there's as much fidelity in his face or I guess time put in the fidelity of his face than like say Kratos. But that's either here or there.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap up my Horizon rant. Like, yeah, I put this number 2 because ultimately, as much as I love Horizon Forbidden West, it feels like just more of the same, which was the sentiment I got with a lot of games this year, was it very much feels like more of the same. And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
agree.
when you compare it to the reason why Horizon Forbidden West lost to Elden Ring is because one felt like an evolution, while one felt like an upgrade, if that makes sense.
Mm. Okay.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. I got a little piece of loose skin on my lip. Oh my gosh. All right.
Sir.
Our number ones. I will go. My number one is a game that I have not beat yet. I don't know if I'm close to the end or not, but my seatbelt is on and I'm ready for this ride. It is God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok is by far, to me, the best playing game I have played in a very, very long time. Not even of this generation. I think the I don't want to. Okay, I'm just gonna say there is a mystery weapon that you get in this game. This is a spoiler. I think the the mixing of the weapons, the different combos you can do and accidentally stumble upon in this game is just fantastic. I think the enemy variety is just fantastic.
They
Again,
did
I
better
haven't even
this
beat the
time.
game.
They took that shit to heart.
Yeah, and like just a different situation. Like, and I'm playing the game on Give Me No Mercy, so I'm getting the
Oh, it
Elden
sounds
Ring
like you don't
high.
plan on you don't plan on platinum in this game, do you?
We'll see, we'll see. But like the Elden Ring high that people get talking about like fighting a boss and just like failing and then finally beating it and like feeling good about it. I'm getting that from God of War. Like I didn't get that from Elden Ring. I had a different take on that combat in Elden Ring. You can go back and listen to that stuff. But I think God of War nails it on every front for me. And there is no way, like, I mean, this game could end and it's just like, oh, everyone has flowers on their head. And I don't understand why it's happening. But other than that, there is like literally no way this game can end for me and it not still remain top on my list for a very long time.
Mm.
Like, yeah, and I haven't even beat the game yet. Like I don't know where I am because I'm not gonna look up the chart or the chapter select to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, I just man, the combat is just so good. It's so good. Oh, yeah. I, don't- I know I'm missing stuff, but you know, it is what it is. All right, Sean, what's your number one?
God of War is my number one. And
What?
I'm not sure if I could say the gameplay is the best for me.
Mm,
It may be. Um, I'd have to go back and like actually play all of them in succession, like all the games I
yeah,
played throughout the year. However, the feels and just the lows and the highs that it takes you on.
yeah.
Um, I can't think of another game that did that for me this year. Just certain fights and certain scenes after you do certain fights without spoiling things.
Oh yeah.
It had me damn near jumping out of my seat and clapping.
There were
Look
so
like
many
a
times, not
goddamn
so
nerd.
many times.
Yeah.
There was times where I'm just like, Kratos, calm down. Kratos, calm down. Like,
Two times I'm just yelling at the TV, like, yeah, yeah, just
right? Yeah.
yeah. Elden Ring didn't have me, I mean, it's less of a handheld narrative game. There is story in Elden Ring. I
You
prefer
have to
it to
search
be
for it though.
presented to me differently.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say you have to search for it necessarily.
You
Avery
have to.
disagrees.
I'm saying you have to search for it because
I'm
that's
saying you
what it
don't
was
have
for
to
me.
search for it.
I played and beat that game, and I
I
beat that
also
game.
I also didn't beat the game, so we're just coming at it from two different directions.
I know.
I just prefer my story be presented differently. And God
Yeah.
of War hit that shit like Negan hit fucking
Jesus Christ.
whatchamacallit in Walking Throne, whatever the hell his name
Glenn?
was. Yes, there you go.
Why'd you have to bring Glenn into this conversation?
God of War hit it that hard, all right?
Glenn ain't do nothing wrong. He was just
Catching strays
trying to
out here.
live. Oh man. All right, and then hey, that's it. That's it for
Yeah,
your
yeah.
okay. And then Avery, what's your number one?
The best game that was released this year, God, Elden Ring.
Hmm.
Elden Ring is as someone who's been a fan of From Software from before Bloodborne. Like one of my
I was a
favorite
fan
games.
before you. I played. No, go
Fuck you,
ahead.
Sean. One of my favorite games is a game they made.
Played hardcore.
No, fuck no. God, am I?
What happened?
I've lost my train of thought because you guys kept
Oh.
interrupting me, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay. One of my favorite games that I played religiously on Xbox 360 was a game called Ninja Blade. That was the first From Software game I ever played. Then I played Metal Wolf Chaos, and I'm like, holy shit, this developer is based as hell. And then they started making Souls games, and it was described to me as hard for the sake of hard. And I'm like, I went to a GameStop, and someone tried to sell me Demon Souls, and like, oh man, it's hard. And I'm like, why did I want this? So I ignored the genre for years. And then one day, I started watching an IGN long play Let's Play series called Prepare to Try, which was about one dude learning how to play Dark Souls 1 before Dark Souls 3 came out. And I'm like, oh, this is a funny series. I see with the difficulty of these games. He's really having a hard time. And then Bloodborne came out on PlayStation Plus, and I said, fuck it, let me play Bloodborne. And Bloodborne to this day is my favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite PlayStation 4 game, Bloodborne. And that started my love affair of me going back and playing Dark Souls 1, attempting to play Sekiro, playing Dark Souls 3, not touching Dark Souls 2. And then Elden Ring came out, a game where I had the weirdest relationship with, in which I started this game and I'm like, I don't love this. I immediately hate how big this game is. I immediately hate that it's not as linear as the other Souls games. I was just not a fan of it. And then I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper and exploring more and more of the world and fighting more and more of the repeat bosses in the game. And I hit a point where I was just like, oh, I'm 100 hours into this game. Like this is no cap. If I wasn't loving this game, I would have not played it for 100 hours. You can look at my Sekiro journey where I fucking just rage quit after the second owl boss fight. And I was like, this game is fucking amazing. Like, it is a pure evolution of everything that the From Software has ever built. It's also the most accessible game they've ever built as well. Like, the hard walls of difficulty that you can find in other Souls games really don't exist in this game. Because every time you hit a wall, there's so much else of the world to explore that you can just do something else to occupy your time in a completely new area. And it has that open world effect where you can literally go, for the most part, anywhere in the map. There's absolutely no gates into this game beyond like one or two boss fights that gate at the final area. But for the most part, you can get from any section of the game to the other section of the game without like having to. And that's just a pure skill thing. So like, if you're in the main area, Limgrave, and you go left, you end up in the cursed like the rotted area, and they're like, oh, this area is super hard. I go back to Limgrave, go north, and you're in the Lunaria area, which is probably more at your level. But even in that area, there are sections of it that are just like this game is a triumph from Software games. Like I think about this game regularly. There's no game I think about more this year than Bloodborne. I'm not Bloodborne. Well, I think about Bloodborne a lot. Than Elden Ring. Like just straight up. Like my love of Elden Ring is also challenged my love of other games. Like when I play other games and they try to implement Souls-like features, it's like they're not doing it well, and as a direct result, it doesn't feel well. I don't have fun playing these games because of it.
Yeah.
It's
the whole Souls boss thing, the Souls-like features thing is so annoying for me. Yeah.
It's like it's like and like from a pure world, like I think Horizon Zero Dawn is pound for pound the best looking video game world I've ever seen in terms of an open world, but it doesn't have the imagination of Elden Ring in terms of its world design. In that Horizon Forbidden West is a real world looking place. They've done such a good job of making everything from a biome standpoint make sense, from going from wood to jungle to forest to tundra and things like that. They do such a good job at that. But Elden Ring, when you go into new areas and you just see the design that goes into that area, like holy shit, what? And then like DJ's like, the narrative has to be spoon fed for you. I don't agree with that. I think they, for the most part, this
I
is
don't
the
say
most.
spoon fed. It's just
You
tell
have to
me
go.
what's happening.
I think
Like,
well, you have conversations with characters in the narrative that give you a good idea of what's going on. There is a lot
if
that
you
has
find the characters, though.
on the main path. If you're playing the main path, the majority of those conversations you'll have with people.
I think my issue was if I stopped playing it for however long,
That makes sense.
and
Like
I
I just said,
didn't take any notes.
it is not a
Yeah.
straightforward. It's not a straightforward narrative, and I would not nominate this game for best narrative. But I would say the idea that its narrative is weak or not there or something you have to look for is not true. I think the game does a better job than a lot of the other Souls games of giving you a good idea of what's going on. So when you get to the end of the game and the big reveal of what the Elden Ring is and the final boss is, that was not a oh no shocking moment for me of like this is how this be. This is a moment of like I've been wondering this my entire time. This cosmology doesn't make sense, and I get to this. I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. Fucking Elden Ring is a triumph. I played this game. I looked at when we looked at our PlayStation hours. I had about 153 hours into this game. It's the most time I spent in any video game this year. And like, I would go back. I have the platinum trophy in this game. I would go back in a heartbeat to play more of it if it was announced. This game is fucking sick. I want more Elden Ring. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I double checked to see how many hours I had in Elden Ring. I had 135 hours. Yeah.
I beat every boss in that game.
I think I did too. I think I did. I don't know. It's tough to say. All right. Well, that has been our. Should we do our honorable mentions? No.
No.
Nah, it's fine.
Yeah. That has been our games of 2022. Just to give you a quick rundown. My top 5 games. Number 5, Elden Ring. Number 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Number 3, Horizon Forbidden West. Number 2, Marvel Snap. Number 1, God of War Ragnarok. Sean, your top 5 games?
SOB. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, Yakuza series, Horizon, and God of War.
And then Avery, yours?
The only thing that matters is Elden Ring.
His number 5 was Marvel Midnight Sun. Number 4, Plague Tale Requiem. Number 3,
I would
Immortality.
sacrifice
Number 2.
all of them on the altar for more Elden Ring.
Damn.
Well, that has been our conversation about the game of the years for 2020, our games of the years for 2022. We hope you enjoyed this conversation and most we enjoyed having it. Don't forget to like the podcast, like the YouTube video of the podcast, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, do all things, man. Thank you. We appreciate it. Again, happy holidays. Have this time to enjoy with your family, but don't forget to watch our content because we need you to do that for us, please. Yeah, just be safe, be warm, play games, and drink some tea. Drink it. All right, guys. Bye. Have fun.